All right. Switch. We're not switching gears. We're gonna keep with this situation, but I don't know if you guys know this, and it's now seems to be par for the course. The national media is picking against us. The national media has counted us out. The national media has us as underdogs. Everybody's picking the Minnesota Vikings for reasons that I understand. Brian Flores' defense is great. Oh my God. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Brian Flores has had this defense the entire season. They've had minimal injuries. I think Blake Cashman was out the first time we played against them, which is fine. Aidan Hutchinson was out the first time we played against them. So, I mean, that's a wash. It really doesn't matter. Pat Jones is going to be out this game because of Tucker Kraft's dirty ass. What up, though, Big Wolf status? So now you look at the scheme of Brian Flores and you go, oh, man, because there's this stigma in the national media. There's this stigma in Vikings fans' heads. And this is the thing that wows me the most. Like, wow. Okay. Okay. Y'all think y'all can do this to me? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I don't know why I'm so Denzel today. I can't tell you. I woke up Denzel. This is the thing that wows me the most. You look at Brian Flores and his defense and his scheme, and it's great. Do you know that as it currently sits, the Minnesota Vikings are, and I had the standings when I did the show the other day, but I didn't bother with them today because I remember what it is. I don't remember the total defensive ranking, but the Minnesota Vikings, with this phenomenal defense, all this pressure, and they're just bringing it. They let up 15 less yards per game than the Detroit Lions with this decimated defense. They let up 15 less yards per game. What is up, though, Lions fans? I interrupted today's video just to tell you a little bit about our sponsors. And our sponsors are none other than you, the people. If you want to become a supporter, a fan of the channel, just go ahead and scan that QR code right there on the screen. You don't have to do it, but what I would like you to do, smash that like button, subscribe, and make sure you turn on your notifications so you can get notified when the Motor City Cats are back at it. And now, let's get back to the show. 15 less. When the Detroit Lions were allowed, when they were second in the league. Now, when we had all of this, our defense, all our pieces, even this was up until, not even pieces, right? Up until the Buffalo Bills game, right? We didn't have Anzo in that game. Up until the Buffalo Bills game, the Detroit Lions were second. We were tied with Philadelphia with total points allowed, which was 18 points per game. Okay, now we're in the 20s because we've had 48 put up on us by the Buffalo Bills. We had 34 put up on us by the San Francisco 49ers. Like, but we know why. Let's see. I'm gonna get to your comments in a second. So we've seen all of this. Even at that time, when we were depleted on defense, up until the game against the Bills, the Minnesota Vikings were still allowing more points than the Detroit Lions. Is this defense really that vaunted? It looks good on paper, but is it really as effective as everyone thinks? And then I got to thinking, well, Jared Goff had a pretty good game against the Vikings last time when we were in Minnesota. So I'm like, damn, what because we look at Justin Jefferson, right? When we say that Justin Jefferson torches the Detroit Lions, what about Jared Goff to the Minnesota Vikings? Jared Goff in his career, and this is only 2 games in LA. Jared Goff in his career against the Minnesota Vikings has a passer rating of 107.3 with 2,653 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions in 9 games against the Minnesota Vikings. 7 of those games are in as a Detroit Lion. 7 of them. Okay? Now, Brian Flores got there in 2023. Brian Flores has never beat Jared Goff in Minnesota. KOC has beat Jared Goff 1 time. The last time they played, Jared Goff was 22 for 25, 88% completion rate, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. The last time Jared Goff threw a pick versus the Vikings, they were in Minnesota on the 25th of September, 2022. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4 matchups, Jared Goff has not thrown an interception. Prior to the last 4, the 3 before that, he threw 1 interception each. Those are where he threw the 3. So where did he throw them? 2021. In both 2021 matchups, he threw a pick, and in the 2022 match, in the first 2022 matchup, he threw a pick. Hasn't thrown a single pick in the last 4 matchups. So he had 3. His first 3 in Detroit, he threw 1 pick each. His last 4 in Detroit, he's thrown none against the Vikings. So if you're picking the Minnesota Vikings because of the defense and you think their defense is better than our defense, that's fine. But where's the evidence that says that they're better than us? It's a matchup, right? Styles make fights, right? It's a matchup. On paper, their defense is better than our defense, and that's fine. The defense isn't going against the defense. That's not what I'm saying. The defense is going against the offense. Our offense trumps their defense all the time, every single time. Okay? Since Brian Flores has come here, every single time that we've played him, which is 3, this is going to be the 4th, every single time, our offense has trumped their defense. Jared Goff is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL against the blitz. So when you're bringing all that pressure and he's like, this Jared Goff is really good against your scheme. That's what I mean by styles make fights. Most quarterbacks aren't great there. Jordan Love, for example, not great against the blitz. You saw what happened to him last week. Jared Goff, great against the blitz. So keep blitzing. Keep blitzing. It doesn't matter. And here's the other thing. I found this out, I think, yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. Shout out Heavies, because there's one. I found this out watching their show. Ben Johnson has a prior relationship with Brian Flores. Y'all know what that prior relationship was? Brian Flores fired him. Brian Flores fired him. Now, he didn't think that he was a bad coach or whatever. The way that he got fired was Brian Flores came into Miami and was the new head coach. Ben Johnson was on the staff. So he had a staff already in mind. He brought a staff with him and he had to let Ben go. All right, okay. All right, my naysayer. So he had to let Ben Johnson go, and Ben Johnson has responded to that by not losing to him, as they are both coordinators now in the same division. Let me get to some of your comments. If you came for all the stats and none of the static, if you're trying to keep your Lions news pragmatic, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can get notified when the Motor City Cats are back at it. And plus, you know you can't get enough of the victory buffs.